Bear down, Wildcat Nation. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. A full wrap-up on today's Wildcats contest, top takeaways, reaction from the players and head coach Tommy Lloyd, plus your thoughts on what you saw. The post-game show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. This is your home for Arizona basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Virginia up to 41-5. Lewis across midcourt for Del Orso. Vasar setting a screen. Del Orso throws it back to Henry to the bucket and hammers it down with the right hand for Henry Vasar.
Henry Vasar just caught a body there and a poster at the same time with a big-time one-handed flush on Andre.
Man, Reggie Geary dropping the caught a body there. Caught a body, Ben. Remember that? From the NCAA tournament in Tommy Lloyd's first season when Ben Matherin dunked on that kid for TCU. Caught a body, Ben. That's 2 games in a row. Now we have seen Henry Vasar drive to the basket for a slam dunk. I mean, I'm telling you, this kid is doing everything right now for the Arizona Wildcats. Only scored 6 points tonight, but had 7 rebounds in his 26 minutes of work. 75-56, Arizona knocks off West Virginia to sweep the Big 12 road to open up our existence in this new conference. Could you tell they maybe have a flight to catch or either want to get out of the cold of West Virginia? That might have been the fastest post-game show from the network
I think
I've ever heard.
I don't think Brian got the word that they had to speed it up until like the 4th or 5th segments, because the first half was pretty standard length. But then I was driving in and I heard Brian say, we got to get to Pittsburgh. And he wrapped it up pretty quick.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Tommy was there, I think, right after the first break, which is very unusual. He was like, hey, let's get this done because we got to go. We got to get back to Tucson quickly. And it's going to be as I tweeted out, there's the term, and actually this is more of a baseball term called happy flight, when you maybe win a series or sweep a series on the road and you get to fly home and everybody's got that good feeling. Well, this is a real happy flight for the Arizona Wildcats, who we weren't too sure how they were going to handle this first soiree into the Big 12 away from home, and even more so very, very far away from home, as far a road trip, I think, in conference as this team has taken in a long time. But, boy, did they pass it with flying colors, beating number 16 Cincinnati and number 21 West Virginia. Does this mean the Wildcats will be back in the top 25 next week? Well, you've got another game coming up on Saturday before we get to that new voting. But I think if you come home and dispatch of Central Florida, like most would expect, I think you might be headed back to the top 25, sitting on what will be at that point 6 straight wins. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. And I think, again, probably the most impressive thing, and one of my keys to the game, and we'll get into all of those a little bit later, but one of my keys to the game was I thought you really, again, you're not going to win very many of these road games without a 20-point performance from Caleb Love, who's your main scorer, but we've seen now that they've been able to win 2 of those on this particular road trip without Caleb Love doing the heavy lifting. Just 3 of 10 again tonight, 9 points. Again, he only had 1 assist, so he wasn't a facilitator in that respect. I mean, again, he hit a big 3 to kind of help curb a run, and sometimes that's all you need. I thought they maybe had to make a few more threes tonight. 7 of 20, probably not the percentage I was looking for, but 7 made threes in that environment. I mean, you'll take the 7 for sure, and the Wildcats continue to get performances from other people, and I think, the story of the road trip is the bench. I mean, the guys coming off this bench right now are really bringing it. When you talk about Henry Vasar, when you talk about Carter Bryant, when you talk about KJ Lewis, I mean, the bench, what did they have tonight? 34 points.
A lot.
From the bench.
They had a lot.
Yeah. Tonight, I mean, that's you'll take that. You'll take that and win on the road every single night in this conference.
Real quick, back to Caleb. I think an analogy, a good way to look at it, is a dominant running back. Okay? Team comes up against a dominant running back, DK. What do? You put a bunch more guys in the box. You make sure that guy doesn't get off for 250 yards. Well, then you've got some slants open. Then you've got the outside routes open, right? It opens up because you have to commit much more energy to stopping that one singular player. Caleb's not forcing things. I think that's the big key, is that's a tough West Virginia defense that they went up against tonight. And you could tell. I mean, there might have been times earlier in Caleb Love's career at North Carolina where he still would have put up 20 shots tonight, right? So I think the growth and maturity, the wrong way to look at it, I think, is that you need Caleb to get 25 for Arizona to be successful. I mean, there's a lot of talent on this team. It took time. Those first 10 games for some Arizona fans might have been more difficult to watch because they didn't look like they had a lot of cohesion offensively. There were a lot of forced shots, and they didn't move the ball as much. And there were some maybe one pass, jack up a three type of possessions, especially in the Bahamas. These last 4 or 5 games, DK, really quick cuts, really good ball movement. They're purposeful with the way they're moving the ball around and moving the defense around. And that just leads to everybody getting good looks. So some night it might be KJ Lewis goes off. Other nights it might be guys like Townsend. You know, we have yet to really see that 15, 20-point game from him. That's coming. It's just a matter of time. And clearly West Virginia was not going to let Caleb Love beat them. And the other guys stepped up. I mean, Bradley, what else can you say about him? Really, really big. When they made that 9-0 run, Bradley came back, hit the three, hit the little 15-footer. There's just a lot of poise right now that we're seeing that we didn't see earlier in the year. And the biggest key for me, DK, is closing. I mean, they've lost 5 games to – people don't recognize maybe that the 5 teams they lost to all are currently top 30 teams.
Right.
4 top 25 teams, and the 5th team is ranked 30th right now, okay? They lost to 5 quality teams, but they didn't finish down the stretch, especially that UCLA game, end of that overtime loss to West Virginia. These last few games, Cincinnati game and this game, both those teams made runs. Arizona withheld that run, made their own runs, put this game away. Really good to see them, DK, finish out a game like this where they had a big lead, gave it a little bit away. Would they cut it down to 5? What's the final score? They win by 19. We have yet to see this where they play a quality opponent, stretch the lead out late. Really good finishing by the Cats tonight.
We want to hear from you about how you feel about this team right now, sitting on this win streak that has reached 5 games, winning their first 2 games on the road in the Big 12. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. Man, we might see if we can roll through our post-game show as fast.
We got to get to Pittsburgh, DK.
That's the last place I want to go is Pittsburgh. Now, your boy Dragon Ball, he got out of here pretty quickly. Maybe he's trying to get to Pittsburgh. I don't think that's where they're playing any playoff games. I don't think there's any playoff games in Pittsburgh.
I think it sounded weather-related. It was what would be my guess.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Anything you're dealing with right back there is weather-related for sure. There's probably another storm coming, and they want to get up there and get on the road and get out of Dodge before they get snowed in. And then you're talking about delayed getting back here in preparation for Saturday for sure. We'll dive into much more of what we saw tonight in Morgantown, Pennsylvania. The 7-game, Morgantown, West Virginia. The people in Pennsylvania don't probably want me putting Morgantown in their state. But the 7-game win streak for the Mountaineers comes to an end tonight. It started with Arizona. It ends with Arizona. Much more straight ahead. Meridian Wealth Management postgame show. I'm David Kelly along with Kelvin Ifan and J.W. Madden. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot postgame coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The postgame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Desert Diamond Casinos, Dorado Rock, First Chiropractic, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Post and Results team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary, call ahead's welcome, or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we're offering 60 months no interest financing, tax credits up to $2,600, energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE Eagle.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work. Oh. Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
Not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Thama Autumn Nation.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet. Our Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
Lewis standing dribble. Drives on small, behind the back move. Jumper up from the free throw line. Good again. K.J. Lewis, over 20 points for the first time in his college career. And the Wildcats lead it 73-54.
KJ Lewis, career high 21 points, 9 of 13 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 2 of 2 from the line, 21 points in 26 minutes. He had 4 assists. Wildcats as a team had 15 in the game. He turned it over just one time. Coming up big for the Wildcats as they knock off West Virginia tonight, 75-56, and complete the sweep on the road. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We will hear from Tommy Lloyd and company coming up a little bit later from Morgantown. I'm sure that press conference probably went as quick as the post-game show did as they looked to get out of there. But we'll hear what the head coach and maybe one or two of his players had to say after the ball game. We'll review our keys to the game. We'll have our Window Depot glass cleaner of the game, as well as see how we did with the best bets as well coming up for you. Kelvin Efon joins us now, the captain. Kelvin, again, you beat number 16, you beat number 21, and you did it in both games without your main star scoring a whole lot of points.
Yeah, man. I mean, and you know, that's great for the team, but I don't know if we can sustain that in the end when it really comes to in the big games, because everybody knows in the big games, they take away those guys. You saw it in the Duke game, right? Those guys are not going to be able to just get off like that and score. Now, I'm happy that all the guys are playing well 100%. I mean, they played above my expectations today. West Virginia was really hurt not having DeVries there. I mean, that's 20 points right there, which would have made that a closer game right there. 20 points, you know, they win by one, right? But I felt like defensively Arizona came understanding that DeVries wasn't there, and they came to choke out West Virginia. They came, I mean, one guy in double figures for West Virginia, one guy in which who's playing like All-American right now, Smalls. I mean, he kept them in the game in the first half. But in the second half, you can see he was wore down a little bit. You look at the minutes that those West Virginia guys have been playing. It's been like 38 minutes a game. So at some point, it was going to catch up to him. But, again, Arizona, man, these guys play so well. I mean, you guys, I heard you on the radio talking about that bench. Vazor on the boards, being aggressive defensively. Carter Bryant, man, oh, man, that kid just, I mean, he didn't have just huge numbers, but every point that he had 7, it felt like he had 14, right? Mm-hmm. Because it just felt like he's just maturing right before your eyes. And Bradley, man, this was one of those times where his points were really needed because Love wasn't going and they were locking in and keying in and doing everything to make sure that they stopped Love. But again, with all that energy they spent on him, I just felt like they opened up the other guys and gave those guys easy opportunities.
When you look at, obviously, I think the thing that worried me right off the bat was a couple things that we had talked about in the pregame show. Jonathan Powell came out and immediately hit a 3, and that was one of the things I was concerned about, is if he would get hot. And then you got Javon Small immediately got a drive to the basket and scored at the rim, and I'm thinking, oh, boy, here we go. Okay, what's this defense going to be like in this ball game? But, and I liked what I saw, just the way that this team has been defending at a number of different positions. Out front, I thought Anthony Del Orso's defense was much better when he was in there today, and obviously, I mean, getting running into the chairs and having to leave, and then coming right out of the locker room and knocking down a big 3. I mean, some of the just, again, you talk about the poise that we're seeing, and that's the phrase of this road trip, I think, from everybody involved, but just a lot of different guys that are able to contribute to this whole thing. And in replace of what we were talking about, maybe not getting that major performance from Caleb Love that you would expect. And that's really, I think, the other thing for me that's been good to see is that it's just been a number of different guys that we've seen that have been able to help this team along to get these 2 critical road wins.
Yeah, on that note, Kelvin, you've been on a lot of teams in your life, and you go through a rough stretch, maybe basketball, 2-game, 3-game losing streak, a couple losses in football. A couple things could happen. You could bind together, and the team could come together and say, hey, yo, let's, team meeting, whatever. Like, let's get this figured out. We got way too much talent here to be playing like this. Should have gotten that one, should have got that one. But the other side of that is pointing fingers and, hey, what are you doing over here? And you should be doing this, and you should be doing that. These guys, Kelvin, these last 4 or 5 games, the movement off ball on offense and the way they're helping on defense. How many wide open threes do we see in those first 10 games? How many wide open threes have we seen given up in these last 4 games? The rotations are tighter. They're really cutting hard. I mean, cutting hard off of dribbles, which we did not see earlier, more standing around. Just a lot of cohesion, like togetherness, whatever you want to call it. They're playing really well as a unit, and doesn't matter who's out there. I mean, you mentioned Carter Bryant. Looking at the stats, dude only got 14 minutes. Kind of felt like he was out there for 25 or more. The impact he made, and yeah, KJ, career night. There's really not much more positive you can say, but the group as a whole, Kelvin, is the most impressive thing to me, because after that 5-game, after the first losing November in how many years? Since 97. Yeah. 97 was the last November that Arizona had a losing month.
What? Is that the year they won the championship?
That's what I saw. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what I saw on the broadcast tonight. I was like, man, that's a crazy stat. First losing November since 97. This team did not point fingers. This team has come together, lifted each other up. They're playing great ball right now.
Well, KJ had 9 of his 21 points in that stretch mid second half where it got close, and then they were able to build that lead. It got down to 6, and the crowd started getting loud there, and they were able to build that lead back up to 17. And they did that in basically just about a 3-minute stretch there.
Yeah, Bradley hit the one late shot clock, no jump 3. That quick release from it was a baseline pass out to Jaden Bradley, and that was a late shot clock. It was right after West Virginia had made that 9-0 run, and then KJ made that acrobatic bucket, and they just never looked back. They answered that run by West Virginia by saying, okay, that was cute and all, but, we're here to win.
You know what? And you know what I was thinking about KJ? And I said, it looked like he was trying to almost make up for the way he played against West Virginia the last time. It was like he was trying to show them the real KJ Lewis.
And Tommy kind of said that in his radio post-game show. He said, I think he felt like he didn't play well the first time.
Right. And he can, because he know he's the tough guy on this team. We got a bunch of tough guys, but I think he's a certified tough guy on our team. I mean, that energy. To me, Caleb scoring is the same as the energy. He's the guy that has to bring that energy. If he's not bringing the energy, who is, right? So I just feel like his role is very important, man. And I felt like he let the team down in that game with his play. And to see him turn it around like this and to have a big night, as they say, the basketball guys, right? When you're working hard, you're doing the right things, and you're being respectful. I mean, even came off the bench. I mean, put himself in a position to say, you know what, coach, I think it'd be best for the team if I came off the bench, which has been a great move, because I feel like Del also has a real role on the team now and has a position as a shooter over there and becoming a better defender. And I feel like KJ now could come off the bench and be aggressive. Tonight, to me, was the best scoring KJ, but the best KJ I've saw, because he also looked good at that bag-up point guard position that everybody has been wondering.
I was going to say, Kelvin, I think his handles look about as tight as I've seen tonight.
Well, it's because he's not playing with the ball. Early in the year, you go back and
look.
You're
right.
I think he's coming off the summer doing the ball handling drills or whatnot, and you want to in and out dribble.
JB likes to bring the ball up, put it between his legs 3 times, behind his back a couple times. But KJ, you're right. I mean, KJ was bringing up straight line, maybe one behind the back, maybe one cross, and that was it, and then go. Yeah,
I seen him a couple times at half court bagging the guy down with the ball away from him and everything, just really protecting the basketball. What, he had 1 turnover today?
1, yeah.
So that's right there. I mean, 4 assists, 1 turnover. I just feel like he came in with great energy. And you always hear Carter Bryant talk about KJ a lot, right? And you see that connection, right? When the KJ go up, hit Carter Bryant right at the bucket, Carter hit him. I mean, they have a true connection. And what it is that it's just a heart and soul, man. He's just an energy type player. Not JT-ish, but what JT brought to the game, just automatic energy.
Are we allowed to talk about negatives?
Oh, yeah.
I want to know, Kelvin Ifon, what you think about the way that Trey Townsend and Tobe Awaka have played the last few games. Because I'm not here to talk trash. I mean, I love those guys. But the uncomfortability at the block. I mean, Trey got the ball a couple of times. A little fadeaway didn't go for him. Got blocked once, and then Awaka got blocked. This doesn't seem like. And you made the point maybe a couple posts ago about finishing over the top is something that they're obviously struggling with against that Cincinnati front line, 7-footer, 6'10" guy, long arms. This front line, I didn't see as much size out there for West Virginia. I was kind of expecting Townsend maybe to make a presence down there to open up some shots from the outside. Are you concerned at all maybe about those two guys?
I'm not concerned with them, really. Now, I'm concerned when they play together.
Yeah.
When they play together, it just seems like they're bumping heads, and the lane is just clogged up.
They're trying to occupy the same space.
Yeah, so with them playing together, I have a little concern there. I would love to see Townsend maybe with Vazar, right? I would love to see that, and to see how that works out, because Vazar can play from the outside. He can pass, and now you can put Townsend on the block. But both of those guys on the block fighting for offensive rebounds, I mean, you see them sometimes knock the ball away from each other. So I just think it's a thing of where, right now in the game plan, coach is going Carter Bryant and Vazar together. But at some point, he has to try out. Carter Bryant would be great with one of those guys, going small with Townsend, right? But both of those guys in the game at the same time, I just think is not really going to work, because they basically play the same position, because Awaka's not a center.
Yeah.
He's not a center. They're both for power forwards.
I only bring it up because I know Waka, Tennessee did not get much run, did not get many opportunities to show his ability to score. And when he got here on campus, clearly the first 10 games or so, Kelvin, you would see him post. You would see them try to feed him the ball. You would see him. But it doesn't seem more recently like we've seen as much opportunities for him outside of him getting an offensive board or whatever and going back up. I just want to see the young man's confidence stay high, because he's coming to a new situation. He's never been he's never been a rotation player at this level. And so he clearly got the body, clearly incredibly smart young man. I just want to see his confidence stay high. I'd love to see Tobey have a really solid game here soon.
And it's only two people that can get big men going. The coach calling the play, and the point guards deliberately trying to get them the ball.
Yeah.
Right? So, until that happens, this is how it's going to be. They got to go get their own food, as we said. You got to go get some offensive rebounds and make something happen that way. Because it's not like we're really setting them up, right?
And they're playing a funky pack line. Like they had the generally obviously the pack line is meant to, filter guys towards the paint, right? It's that whole concept. But the idea of where those guys are occupying space, Townsend may be on the baseline a little bit off the block. Awaka tries to set up about 6 feet out on the block. Both those spots against that defense, those passing lanes, Kelvin, they're trying to take away that passing lane. So I did see a couple times the high-low didn't work. I think that was Townsend to Awaka, I want to say, where they tipped the ball away. Right. I know a couple of entry passes, especially early. I know early they tried to go inside the paint. And, West Virginia obviously was playing over the top of the.
And both of those guys are not, right now, are not great passers.
Yeah.
And especially that high-low pass, I saw it early in the year. Townsend was having a problem getting it to Crevis.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't necessarily think that's their strength. Right? So both of them guys playing together, trying to get each other the ball. Because right away, when Vazar and Carter got in the game, they did a pick and roll from the 4 and the 5.
Yeah.
Tell me that wasn't a play.
Yeah.
Tell me that wasn't a play. You had the 3 guards on the perimeter outside the 3, pulling out the guard help. Then you did a 4-5, which Carter really isn't a 4, but he's playing the 4 right now. And then you came off of it, and Carter threw the lob to Henry.
Yeah, it's like a 3 playing the 4 and a 4 playing the 5.
Okay, where is that at with these other 2 guys? They can't do it. Why they didn't run that play?
Yeah.
So that's my point. But I think that they could be the screener off of Vazar or Carter, passing to them in a high-low situation or coming off the pick and roll in a high-low situation. I thought that was a great. I'm seeing these wrinkles. Coach can keep telling everybody else he ain't running plays. He can keep telling everybody else, But I'm starting to see some stuff, man. And that's what else he did. He started out saying, this is what we want to do. We want to play the freestyle, the free-flowing, right? And then he started making adjustments as the season goes along, as you see what you're doing. That's called coaching.
It is a win for Arizona, 75-56. I've got something I want to add to the Trey Townsend situation. One of the things that I kind of saw that I thought was interesting tonight. We'll get into that as well as a whole lot more. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. After a winning road trip, Wildcats knock off number 16 Cincinnati, and tonight take down 21st ranked West Virginia, winning 75-56 in Morgantown. Along with Calvin Efon and J.W. Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
She's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Our Window Depot coverage of the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
Down low, underneath to Bradley. Back left, Del Orso. A 3 is good. Anthony Del Orso off the bench. Ice cold to drain a 3.
Del Orso's having a night tonight. The big difference tonight, he's being aggressive there with the open look, able to knock it down from left corner.
That was his second. Lexus of Tucson Charity.
2 for 4, Anthony Del Orso from 3, scored 10 points in 24 minutes, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, didn't turn it over, had a steal. 4 for 9 overall from the floor with that 2 for 4 from behind the arc for Anthony Del Orso. The Wildcats as a team shot 7 of 20 from 3 in this game, 35%. The interesting thing, we were talking about Trey Townsend, and you guys were just really talking about the offense from both Awaka and Townsend, and that was one of the things that I had written down in my notes, was that they're having trouble making those mid-range shots that they really need to be making. But another thing I noticed tonight with Trey Townsend, who did make a three-point shot tonight, was that he shot 3, and that's the first time since the loss to West Virginia that he's shot that many three-pointers in a game. He had been 0 for 4 since that West Virginia game with 3. And I just, the fact that he took 3, and he took 3 relatively comfortably tonight, I was wondering if you guys thought maybe that was by design, that they thought that maybe we need to try to get him shooting more threes in this offense to maybe spark something, whether that's to open things up more, whether that's maybe to spark his offensive game, because he came down pretty confident in taking those three-pointers that he took tonight. And I was like, well, I mean, that's something we had not seen a lot since, really early in the season. I mean, he took the 3 against West Virginia, but he hasn't really looked like he's taking confident threes, I think, since early in the season.
Well, if you look at all the starting guards, they must have had some great shooting workouts, because all of them got some threes up, right? And they must feel good inside that gym, because I think they almost had double what we shot in the last game, right?
Yeah.
So, what I really think it is with Townsend, yes, I think Coach told him, hey, man, be aggressive. One of the reasons is because when he recruited him here, he told him that that's one of the things that I'm going to allow you to do. I'm going to allow you to stretch your game out and kind of be like, was that KJ Johnson?
Keyshawn Johnson.
Kind of be like Keyshawn Johnson. That was a lot of the reason why he came here. He even said it. He wanted that role, right? So you have to remember Keyshawn was struggling a little bit, knocking them threes down at first, guys. And so, but Coach, let him keep taking those shots, because, again, when I recruited you here, I said a part of our system is we let guys take those shots if they can make those shots. And I think that's what he's doing with Townsend, man. He's trying to keep him confident. The last thing you want to do is tell him not to shoot him.
Right.
Because now you're basically lied to him on the recruiting that you were going to help him become a 3-4, different from what he was playing at Oakland. So, I actually, again, credit Lloyd for leaving that door open for him to take those shots and putting the confidence in him and the teammates as well. And I'll say this last thing. As a teammate, if I'm missing threes, I ain't going to say nothing to nobody else about missing. I can't really do that. And I think that's one of the reasons why Del Orso is confident. KJ, Carter Bryant, is because Love has had some tough days. And I can see him as a leader. When Del Orso hit that 3, the first person celebrating on the sideline was Caleb Love. So that senior fifth-year guy, I bet he has something to do with those guys having some of that confidence too, because as you hear him say in his post-game, in some of his post-game confidence, he have confidence in all those guys. And he speak highly of every one of those guys. And I guarantee you he's been putting confidence in them too, for nothing more, for nothing less than that he hasn't necessarily been shooting a great percentage. So, hey, let's all go for it.
I said in the pregame show that I thought that it was going to be important maybe to make some three-pointers in this ball game. And then I don't know if you guys heard the stat during the game. The Wildcats are 294th in the country in three-point field goal percentage. I didn't know it was that bad. Is that a problem?
Well, first, let me talk about Trey. It's the same thing as with Henry, like I said earlier. The problem is you're talking about a pack line where the 4 and the 3's job is to hedge off of drives from the point guard and the shooting guard that are trying to get in the lane. And so when the defense is designed to have the 3 position, the small forward and the power forward, especially with the mobile power forward, help off of their man against drives, well, guess who's open? The power forward's open. So if you have a guy like Henry Vasar who can knock down an open shot, or Trey Townsend, who can knock down an open shot. Your question you posed, DK, is should Trey Townsend be taking 2 or 3 threes per game? Is that something that we want to see him do? It's completely situational to me. If he's going up against a smaller 4, if he's matched up, he can take that guy down in the post. Trey Townsend, despite what some Arizona fans might think, is a very well-rounded player. Just go watch any of his highlights. I mean, he can do it from any number of spots on the court. Trying to figure out how to work his way into a flow after playing ISO his whole career. I think this game in particular, the game plan was for Trey or Henry to take open shots to try to loosen up, to make sure that they did not pack that paint, did not do that traditional, make sure that you cut off all drives and funnel them down to the shot blockers. And so, yeah, I mean, I think I'm personally comfortable with Trey Townsend or Henry Vasar shooting open threes to keep the defense honest, Kelvin. Right. I don't know that those guys are not knocked down 40, 50% three-point shooters. You want to design set plays to get that an open three. It's really more like what the defense has given you. That's what the defense was giving them. You knock down 1 for 3. Defense, Kelvin, has to come out and deal with that now. You got to play the next defensive possession a little bit different.
And for future games, they have to respect that he will take that shot, so they're not going to just go and drop coverage. But, J-Dub, I want to ask you, I also believe, as I said before, I think it also is the coach telling them because like I know, what was his reason for coming here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
NBA.
To stretch out his game.
Yeah.
Right? Because he already has shown that he can, against the top Division I program, score on the inside. He don't really have to prove that, especially for the NBA people, because the NBA people know you can't run pack line in the NBA.
Right? Well, I mean, the other thing they know is Trey Townsend scoring inside at Oakland against Giannis is not going to happen, right?
Right. And I'm saying, and if he get a chance in the NBA in different matchups, he can score down there because there's really no double teaming basically in NBA basketball because of the rules. So they're not worried about seeing that. And they want to see that, can you knock down a jumper? We know you can score in the paint. You got 1,000 points doing that at Oakland. Can you knock down a shot, or are you even willing to take that shot, right? And I think Coach Lloyd as well is telling them, hey, we said you worked on that shot. We believe in that. Early in the season, he was taking that shot because, I ain't gonna lie to you, the games didn't really count.
Yeah.
Right? So he was taking that shot. I think he needed Coach to put that shot in his arm and say, hey, man, let's get back to it. Don't lose confidence. Don't
take us inside of a locker room, Kelvin, and there's a whole adage of green light. So here's the way I look at it. I look at it as there are players on the court that the coaching staff and head coach are comfortable with taking shots if they're open. There are other guys in the court, hey, you want to go off dribble and step back, do whatever you want to do, Caleb. That's your thing. Jaden Bradley or whatever. Right. I just think Trey Townsend has the green light to shoot shots as opposed to coaching staff saying, hey, Trey, go out. We want you to take 3 or 4 threes tonight, right? Like, that's not a conversation that goes on, like a number or we need you. But as far as, hey, here's the game plan. This is what West Virginia likes to do. This is where the open shots are going to come from. If you find yourself out there with no one within 5 feet of you, go ahead and let it fly.
Yep.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's hear from our guy, Howie. You are on Meridian Wealth Management. Arizona game day after a 75-56 Arizona win over West Virginia.
Yeah, it was great to see. How you guys doing?
Good. Howie, how are you? Happy New Year.
Yeah, same to you. Happy New Year to you guys, too. Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't working. It started at 4 o'clock.
Early, yeah.
That's right. It's 4 o'clock in Oregon.
I know. Yeah, it's like the football season. I have to get up at 8, to see a 9 o'clock game.
Well, we needed that because the next 2 starts are really late for we got 8 o'clock on Saturday and I think 9 o'clock next Tuesday. So we're gonna be up late the next.
Kelvin, you and I I know you've been here about 10 years. I've been here about 8 years, something like that. I don't think I've ever been here with you on a weeknight where the game didn't start at 7 o'clock or later. I think this might have been the first time. Non-conference aside and holiday games aside and those tournament games aside, but a standard conference basketball game, guys, starting Tucson time at 5, that's kind of nice. I like that.
Yeah, I was telling DK, I said, man, I don't know how many of them I can do. I was like, man, but I'm used to that, right?
Cutting into the training time.
Yeah, I used to get 4 o'clock or something like that on these weekdays. But, man, first thing, Howie, I want to say this, man. I was telling DK this. I said, one thing about Howie is how we going to call win or lose. Mm-hmm. And I respect that, brother. I respect that. I can listen to anything you have to say about the Cats because regardless, win or lose, how we going to check in, he going to say how he feel, and I respect it.
Yeah, some of those people who called maybe...
Thank you, Calvin. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Some of those people who called maybe Game 5 or Game 6 haven't called back in a while.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Go ahead.
I want to say something, and this is kind of, it's good and bad. Okay, I was getting a little irked during the Cincinnati game. We're up by 19 points, and they're just going to that stage where they just were making bad passes, and lackadaisical would be the word. And it kind of reminds me of they were like in a sports car and they were in first and second gear at parts of that game. Other parts they were playing great. This game, they were in fourth and fifth gear the whole game, the Cats, and I loved every minute of it.
Well, I think they was trying to figure out how to win a big-time game on the road, Howie. They hadn't done that before.
Yeah.
I think the biggest difference was Cincinnati had 9 guys, and they ran a 1-3-1 three-quarter court trap, and that's when they had that 9-0 run, right? And I think West Virginia is only working with like 6, 7 guys, maybe at the most. So when they got down, they kind of like tinkered a tiny bit with the trap. They were trapping in the corner after the ball handler brought the ball over the half court a couple of times. But, yeah, I don't think West Virginia could really have the bodies to throw out there. But to your point, Howie, I mean, we've seen so many times this year where Arizona just did not finish down the stretch, whether or not it was taking, ill-advised shots or turning the ball over, sloppy turnovers. This last couple of games, I mean, even after Cincinnati came back and tied that game, the way Arizona finished that game and the way Arizona responded to that 9-0 run by West Virginia tonight, they're definitely making progress as a unit how to close games out. I mean, that takes Kelvin. Figuring out how to win games down the stretch, winning time games, and how to do that as 5 guys on the court together, that's another learning process and learning each other too.
Huge, because we all know who's the go-to guy, who can we depend on in certain situations. These guys are learning that about each other. And these last 2 games, people don't understand. On the road, I heard them say 1,600. What was it? 1,600 miles or whatever. These guys, 1,800 something. I heard. And these guys been together the whole time, getting to talk. You talk. I'm telling you, when we was on these roads, that's when we talking about family and where we grew up at and our dreams and admirations. You got way more time for that now. When you're here in town, you're with your girlfriend, you hang out with, got separate friends.
Didn't they have a nice stretch last year after they got snowed in and were forced to hang out with each other? Remember that?
You feel me? And that's what they got right now on the road. One thing is something else that I noticed. I didn't realize all those guys didn't travel.
Yeah, they take 15? And so it
didn't even look like 15.
I thought that's what Brian said in the post game, that they could take 15 on these 2. I don't know what the exact number is for the but yeah, they're not traveling as many guys in conference play as they were before.
So they really locked down, getting that cohesiveness down. I mean, again, and I just saw it in the games, man. Again, that when they came back on that 19-point game, that was, at the end of the day, that was good for these guys to know that they can overcome that. You need to know that. Now, of course, you would have rather won by 19 running away, but you need to be in those situations because you guys know it. To win a championship, you're not blowing nobody out. You're going to be in a dog fight. You're going to be in a real fight. You're not going to be winning by 20 at their home court. That's not going to happen. So the more games that you can have where adversity hits and you overcome it, the more you grow.
Hey, Calvin, I was going to ask you a question. If it was your day and you were playing, with Coach Olson, and you lost in Morgantown during a snowstorm, and there was, where would you find the Wendy's?
Oh man, we probably be
on every corner, probably.
Yeah, we probably, and it was like that in Washington State. It was that type of weather, so he probably would have. Hey, he would have got him and his coaches off the bus and send the bus driver to drop us off somewhere. But he only did that one time, though. People, the rest of the time we was at Lawrence Steakhouse.
Yeah,
we was at some of the best restaurants. I always tell the stories. We was in Seattle. And I didn't know what shrimp prongs were, and Ben Davis. Davis had to let me know. I was 19 years old. I had really never been to restaurants and stuff like that. So, Coach Olson introduced a lot of us to some good stuff.
I've been through that area, and I think I know which Wendy's you might have went to. It's right by the Idaho line.
There's not a lot of Wendy's in Pullman. Yeah.
I mean, man, it was I just remember everything in Pullman just looked like it was from back in the 30s. It's just looks old there, like very old.
I have a friend that grew up there. He's he lives here, but he grew up in Pullman. He didn't talk about it much, and I can see why.
Tough to get there.
As the great George Raveling once said, it's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there.
Mm-hmm. Didn't he coach there?
Yeah, after USC, right?
Before USC.
Oh, before USC,
yeah. He coached there before. That was before Iowa. He went from Washington State to Iowa.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just in a bunch of wheat fields, from what I remember. Oh, well.
Truck
Hey,
stop.
you guys have a good one.
Hey, Howie, appreciate it as always.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thank
Bear
you.
down, Howie.
All right.
Yeah, bear down.
520-848-1290. That opens up a line for you. You can call us. You can text us in your thoughts on Arizona's 75-56 win over the West Virginia Mountaineers. We'll get to our Window Depot glass cleaner of the game coming up next, along with Kelvin Ifan and JW Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot postgame coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The postgame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Desert Diamond Casinos, Dorado Rock, First Chiropractic, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC, Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Poston Results Team with Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary, call ahead's welcome, or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Looking for unlimited gameplay all season long? Dave & Buster's is introducing the all-new Winter Season Pass. You can pick your perfect pass and play like a Dave & Buster's VIP with unlimited access to over 140 games and deals on sips and bites. Sign up now and take advantage of this incredible deal now through February 28th. Don't forget to stop in Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch specials and grab the all-new Winter Season Pass. There's nowhere better to eat, drink, play, and watch than Dave & Buster's, the best place outside the stadium to see the games this football season.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Donna Autumn Nation.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
The cold Arizona nights are here. Is your furnace ready? For just $59, Rightway is offering a complete system tune-up, ensuring your furnace runs efficiently to keep your home comfortable all season long. Routine maintenance is key to avoiding costly breakdowns. And with over 9,000 five-star Google reviews, you can trust Rightway to get the job done right. Plus, we'll include a free carbon monoxide test for your peace of mind. Call Rightway today at 520-640-2665 or visit us at rightwayac.com for your $59 complete system tune-up.
Bear down, Wildcat Nation. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. A full wrap-up on today's Wildcats contest, top takeaways, reaction from the players and head coach Tommy Lloyd, plus your thoughts on what you saw. The post-game show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. This is your home for Arizona basketball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Bradley works his way into the paint, all the way to the bucket, laid up and good. Oh, I love that move. Jaden Bradley, second time tonight he's followed the recipe that worked in Cincinnati. Go to the bucket.
Wildcats win at 75-56 over West Virginia tonight down in Morgantown to sweep the road trip, coming back home with a 5-game win streak to take on Central Florida on Saturday. That'll be a night game. It's going to be a doubleheader at McHale Center on Saturday. The ladies will play at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they've got Iowa State. They got a big one against Baylor tomorrow night. Baylor, though, is not. They lost last week, so they dropped out of the top 25, but still, it's Baylor, and they've won national championships, and not quite your Kim Mulkey Baylor, but still Baylor. And so looking forward to seeing them at McHale Center for the first time. That'll be tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. You can hear that game at 5:45 over on KTUC, AM 1400. And then, again, the doubleheader on Saturday, it'll be the Wildcat women at 2 o'clock against Iowa State, and then the men against Central Florida at 8 o'clock. So join us for a exciting, fun-filled day of basketball on Saturday. All right, our Window Depot glass cleaner of the game, guys. We had Toby Iwanka grab 7 rebounds tonight.
He did that in 13 minutes, by the way.
Henry Vasar had 7 in 26 minutes, so that's double the time.
Right.
So
if we're going by rebound per minute, then it's definitely Toby.
Toby Iwanka?
Yeah,
but I feel Vasar's rebounds were more
impactful. Yeah.
Impactful.
That one, well, it wasn't a rebound, but the one catch for the lob for the two-hand where it was like way behind his head with his left hand, that was crazy, Kelvin.
That was from Carter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that pass was he thought he was passing to Wemby or whatever, and he couldn't quite get up that high, but the athleticism to gather and then have the wherewithal to be able to dunk that was very impressive.
He did that twice, and actually he can jump higher than that. That's why those guys are throwing it like that, because I think somebody else threw him one and he didn't. KJ Lewis threw him one and he didn't finish it, but he came down and went back up and tried to shack that thing.
Yep.
Well, did shack that thing. So, but yeah. So man, I just feel like Vasar just the tenacity that he's rebounding that ball with intimidates other teams going into the future. It basically tells the other team, get back on defense. When your big man is jumping like that and going up and snatching the rebound, elbow at the rim like that, because Walker's is below the rim.
Right. Yeah, he does his work.
It's still 7 rebounds.
It's all leverage. Yeah, it's all leverage.
Yeah, it's still
rebounds,
7 rebounds. I'm not taking away the rebound. It's leverage, as J-Dub said, but it's below the rim a lot of times, so it's not as intimidating. But seeing Vasar jump like that, I'm one of the teams going to get. I'm telling my guy, hey, just get back and cover the rim because this dude, you ain't getting that. Only
and
way
you
to
add
get
those,
that is to foul him.
Add those 3 blocks in there, Kelvin. That'll make them think too.
That'll stop penetration.
All right, well, you sold me then. Henry Vasar is our Window Depot glass cleaner of the game because nothing really stood out to me in terms of that tonight. But Window Depot, lowest prices, biggest inventory. ShopTheWindowDepot.com. Henry Vasar.
West Virginia did out-rebound Arizona last game out, and the West Virginia did have a big this time that they didn't have last game out. And so you gotta look towards the 31-40 rebound differential and keeping them off the offensive glass. I mean, guys, we haven't talked about it yet, but Arizona held them to 36% as a team. So where was their offense going to come from, Kelvin? It was one guy. Small was getting his. A couple of open threes went down, but other than that, if they could have got more offensive rebounds, it could have made it interesting. But Vesar and Awaka and Townsend, those guys really cleaned up nice on that defensive glass.
They took 29 threes.
And remember this, you just said it, 29 threes. What that means, J-Dub?
Long
rebounds. The guards did a great job of boxing out as well and hustling and scrapping up those long rebounds. West Virginia beat us to those balls in that last game. They played more
first,
scrappy.
5, 6, 7 games, Kelvin, early in this season, it felt like Arizona, I don't know if it was like flat-footed or whatever, but it felt like the other teams were beating us to a lot of those, what do they call them, like team rebounds, and the ball hits the ground first. Like that whole thing, like you can't have that, especially on those. You're going to come up against a team, West Virginia, one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. You know they're going to be putting them up. So that has to be a part of the game. KJ is going to get in there. KJ is going to make sure he puts a body on it. But as far as JB and Caleb and those guys, Del Orso, all making sure that their man's not flying to the rim. Yeah, they just as a team, the team rebounding tonight was very impressive.
You commented in the break, Kelvin, 18 free throws in this game between these two teams.
Hey, I said the referee was trying to get out of there too. I said I seen go grabbing and arms and
I saw more hand checking than I did tonight than I've seen since the 1980s in the NBA. Like there was some
on both sides,
arm bars. Yeah.
On both sides and grabs. Guys were penetrating with grab, but the referee was like, if you don't lose the ball. It's all fair play.
17 personal fouls and 18 free throws.
I did have one problem with the refs tonight, nothing to do with their foul calling, but West Virginia 6 or 7 times caught the ball out the net after they made a basket, and a couple times they threw it to the ref. Kelvin, if you're underneath the basket and the ball falls to you, throw it to the ref. That's fine. But there were a couple of times where they threw the ball away from the Arizona player who was trying to inbounding. That is just delay of game. You get a warning the first time, refs see that, they're like, stop that, don't do that. Next time you get it to tech. That's always been the rule. They clearly were trying to keep Arizona from pushing tempo after a made basket or whatever. I didn't see them talk about that, and they must have done that 6 or 7 times, took the ball right out of the net.
You know what that is? That's when I see a guy take the ball out of the net and throw it, I know he's tired.
Well, yeah.
He's tired. He don't want to get back on defense, so he's trying to avoid having to run the court. So it's actually a good strategy until you get warned. So you keep doing it until, because they say, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, my only issue with the refs is they just let that go. They let that go and let it go and let it go and let it go. And not calling ticky-tack fouls on either side, that's great and all. But I don't know. If you grab the ball and throw it in the opposite direction, like intentionally, Kelvin, you're trying to delay the game by throwing the ball over in the corner, the baseline in the corner.
I've done it before. I was tired.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm tired. I rolled it to the other way, delay a game, whatever. Let me know. I won't do it again then, but until then. But because do you remember the time where when they scored, when we took it out, did the sideline fast break, and next thing you know, pass, KJ Lewis layup?
Yeah,
that's why they were doing it. And I want to say, newsflash, Javier Morales was posting here, and Cole Pete has 13 points, the big recruit from U of A.
Right.
13 points in the third quarter, and Tucson High is 36-34. Perry only 2 points with all those Giants on the team.
Who's winning?
Perry by 2.
By just 2 points.
2. And Cole is on the bench with 4 fouls.
Wow.
He's on the bench with 4 fouls. I was like, you know what? And I was going to say this to myself. They made them play a true road game. That's what the ref's supposed to do. This is a road game. You in Tucson. Every time I went to Phoenix, I was on a road game when I was coaching at Pueblo.
I got a question. Koa's 26, right? Because there's no way that guy is 17. There's no way, Kelvin.
Well, he's the run of his family. You seen his brothers that play in the NFL?
Crazy. That dude's built like a 25-year-old.
He remind me of Trey Townsend body-wise.
Yeah. We've got our girl, Priscilla Mugwa, over there at Tucson High School, so we'll have some coverage of that coming up for you later. Follow on our social media platforms, Wildcats Radio 1290 on Facebook and Instagram, at Wildcats 1290 on Twitter. You can also share your thoughts with us on the game at all of those locations. And then I know I probably can't complain about 8 turnovers, but man, I'm pretty sure all 8 of them were sloppy passes, and that's just driving me crazy. How loosey-goosey we get with the basketball sometimes. This wasn't one of those games where the other team was coming and taking it from us. We were just making dumb passes, dangerous passes, like just trying to make passes, that the Globetrotters probably can't even make. And then I would prefer not to see that much moving forward. Now, again, I can't really argue with 8. 8's a good number, but to me, it was a bad 8 in terms of the turnovers.
Well, yeah, I know Vasar had a couple turnovers, and I know one of those was that interior pass. The real problem, I think, is Caleb, right? Like, as far as turnovers go, your 5th year, COVID year, senior, All-American, he's a little bit looser with the ball, Kelvin, than I think he should be at this stage of his career, especially at this level. You just got to keep your head in the game. That's really what it's all about. I mean, how to fake a pass, make a pass. They know all the techniques to get around some kind of pressure defense. Again, like DK said, West Virginia's not a style that's trying to get in the passing lane. They're much more trying to cut the drives off, that Sean Miller style pack line. But yeah, I mean, the issue, DK, is when we've seen those flurry of 3 out of 5 possessions where they're sloppy with the ball, it always coincides with the other team making a run and coming back from when Arizona had a big lead. So, luckily, not luckily, they kept it to 8, like you just said. If that had been closer to 14 or 15 and they had a longer stretch
like
of turnovers and West Virginia hit 7 threes in a row instead of 3 threes in a row, it'd be a different story. But overall, I think they took care of the ball.
And I'll say this. You guys, I saw at least 2 of those turnovers for Caleb because of the pack line and he driving into a little bit of a traffic because he was actually trying to put the ball on the floor.
He lost the ball one time in traffic, for sure.
Right. And I didn't at least once. And I didn't think I think he was trying to put it on the floor and get a little closer to the basket but still trying to recognize, they're loading up against me.
Yeah.
And so the 3 turnovers, but he could have had 20 missed shots. He only took 10 shots tonight. I think you have to go back and say, you know what, the 3 turnovers, usually he wouldn't have those 3 turnovers because those would be 3 missed shots because he would have launched some real deep threes instead of trying to penetrate on a couple of those or even trying to pass the ball. So I actually give him credit for tempering himself at only 10 shots tonight when he's seen other guys had it going. Right? He's seen KJ had it going. He's seen Del also had it going. You're cheering for those guys because when you are playing well as the leading scorer of the team or whatever, best player of the year or whatever you want to call it, those guys are always cheering you on.
Follow up, would you like to see Caleb in that setting turn into more of a playmaker? Because he did have 3 turnovers, but only the 1 assist. So obviously if you're seeing extra defensive attention like tonight, not to say that he didn't kick out in the proper timing and guys just missed shots. I mean, that's definitely, I have to go back and look at the film. I would love to see Caleb in a game like this where I love that he only took 10 shots because other guys had it going. He didn't need, because most of Caleb's shots come late shot clock where he has to be the one to take that shot. You didn't see a lot of that tonight because the offense was really moving the ball well. I would just love to see that number be more like 4 or 5 assists in a night where he's seeing every time he's driving. Obviously, that's what pack line is. They're trying to prevent drives. But I would love to see Caleb recognize what the defense is trying to do to him, draw that extra defensive attention, and then find whoever it is that's open. Because if 2 are on 1, Kelvin, somebody's open.
Yeah. All right, let's find out if we're cashing any tickets over at the Desert Diamond Casino Hotel.
Tucson, what happened with today's best bets? Did the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at the best bets. Brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, nobody had the Wildcats covering this game. They were a 4-point favorite coming into this thing. The line was 2.5 this morning when I put the sheet together, and it went to 4 at the start of the game. And everybody took West Virginia and the 4 points, so that's a losing bet there as Arizona wins by 19. Over-under was 143.5. J-Dub and I went with the under tonight. Kelvin took the over. 75-56 comes in at 131. So the under wins tonight. So unfortunately, 2 L's for K-Dub there. K-E.
Yeah.
And a split once again. There's been a lot of splits this season. A split for J-Dub and I. So
who would have thought Arizona would have shed that? Only allowed 1 double-figure score,
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And who would have thought that the referees would have only called 18 total foul shots?
Well, the craziest stat to come out of this, guys, is you have to recognize West Virginia, since they beat Arizona in overtime, have yet to give up 61 points. 61 points is the high they've given up in the last 6 games since they faced Arizona. That's been and that's even without Tucker DeVries in there, right? He hasn't been for the last 5-6 games. They won that game, guys, at Kansas with this exact same lineup that we saw tonight.
That's what I was thinking.
They've had some time to adjust. I was just really impressed with Arizona's offense and their efficiency, because that's a very good defensive team. Again, West Virginia, I think, is 12th right now in the nation in points allowed per game.
Well, you said you thought offense was going to be the catalyst tonight in the pregame.
Well, yeah, I mean, all my keys were offensively, because, hey, the way West Virginia's been shutting teams down, if you do not find a way to penetrate that pack line, if you do not find a way to get easy buckets, find cutters to the basket, it was going to be a long night in Morgantown. But, hey, guess what, Kelvin? Whatever game plan, the execution was to a T. I mean, there's not a lot of negatives to look at on the score sheet when you're talking about a 19-point win on the road against the top 20. Well, they have a 7-game winning streak. They just got done beating top 10 Kansas team in their own building. That's a quality team that Arizona just beat tonight in their home court.
75-56, the final. We'll review our keys to the game and have a whole lot more coming up for you straight ahead. Wildcats beat West Virginia along with Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Those are today's best bets. They're brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Broadway in Tucson presents the new 2024-2025 season, featuring 6 blockbuster productions, including Mamma Mia and the Southern Arizona premieres of Clue, live on stage, Beetlejuice, Some Like It Hot, the Neil Diamond Musical, A Beautiful Noise, and Shucked. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the best prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2024-2025 season tickets today.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at
Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rocking K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot. Best price, biggest inventory.
Our Window Depot coverage on the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
For Awaka and for Del Orso, 11 to shoot, off to Awaka, drives into the paint, no shot, lost the ball, gets it back. Time to shoot, 6 on the clock now. Awaka's got to realize that. Del Orso, 3 seconds. Del Orso will put it up. Around and off, no good. Awaka rips away the offensive rebound. Lost the ball, got it back. Goes up and scores it. Oh, tough move to Tobe Awaka.
Big time finish there. Grown man finished on that putback offensive rebound. Once again, Tobe Awaka, one of the best offensive rebounds in the league and nation.
That was signature Tobe Awaka, that first half rip away to get the second chance opportunity at the offensive end. That was his only basket of the night.
I love that play because he lost the ball twice and would not be denied. Like, his hands, Kelvin, were stronger down there than anybody else's in that sequence of plays.
2 points, 1 of 4 shooting, 7 rebounds. He had 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 block, and 1 steal in 13 minutes tonight. Wildcats win it 75-56 over West Virginia. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. You can call us. You can text us your thoughts on the game. You can interact on any of our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch at Wildcats Radio 1290, Twitter at Wildcats 1290, with your thoughts on what you saw from the Wildcats as they complete this road trip, this first Big 12 road trip in winning fashion, and maybe, just maybe, headed back to the top 25 next week if they can finish out this thing with the first win. It'll be the last game of the week, but it'll be the first game on the second half of this, really the next go-around, considering the men's side, the games start on Saturday. You got 2 home games coming up against UCF on Saturday and then Baylor next Tuesday night.
I don't think I'll
get a couple of wins.
It's going to be a minute before I can wrap my head around that. Like, logically, it makes sense.
Central
but the
Florida?
No. The idea that Saturday starts the
starts
weekend.
The week.
Yeah, because, I mean, we're so used to Saturday being the last game that when we have a Saturday game, I don't expect that to be the first of the road trip. That's just such a foreign experience for us who've been around the pack for so long.
It is. It does. It's kind of strange. But, and like Tuesday, like, it's just weird being in a conference and playing on a Tuesday night. But hey, we'll get some Thursday nights off now, and we got Tommy Lloyd radio show every Thursday night from 5 to 6, and so we get a little bit. We can have a nice dinner out or something on a Thursday night, which we're not used to having. Thursday off playing
we can go
during
to
this
Pullman
basketball season.
Go get some fast food in Pullman.
Oh, everything we ate out of that.
Oh my goodness! Anyway, Pullman was very nice to me on the couple of road trips that I went there. I won't get into that.
The one nobody talks about is Corvallis.
Corvallis.
Yeah, Corvallis, it's weird because if you, like, Corvallis is a cool college town, but if you go outside of the town, you drive in, it's just nothing but factory, all like lumber factories.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah.
A lot of cutting of trees and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. Let's find out what we thought the Wildcats needed to do to win this game tonight.
Wildcats fans, how did today's Keys to the Game go for the Wildcats? Keys to the Game are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
I believe you went first, J-Dub.
I think it's all offense for me because, real quick, guys, Duke, UCLA, Cincinnati, and West Virginia are all in the top 20 of points allowed. West Virginia is only giving up 62.5 points a game. Arizona's seen a lot of tough defenses, but what they did in Lawrence and how they held Kansas down, it's really all about offense. You gotta not settle for 3-point shots against that pack line. Strong off the dribble, less than 23-point attempts is what I'd like to see in this game. Gotta cut hard off the ball as well. Take care of the ball, less than 12 turnovers. Really, really solid West Virginia team. Like I said, the last 5 games, guys, since the Arizona game, 6 games, 54 points per game is what they're giving up on average. And you got to dominate the boards. I think Arizona has a size advantage they did not have against Cincinnati tonight. One thing they did do in Atlantis that was a part of West Virginia's win in overtime, 15 offensive boards for the Mountaineers in that game. So you got to make sure you take care of your defensive boards. Those are my keys today versus West Virginia.
+9 on the boards for Arizona and exactly 23s for the Wildcats in this ball game. And the cutters were back. That was good to see that cutting action, getting those baskets, which Cincinnati kind of took away from them on the first game of the trip.
KJ, man. Kelvin. I mean, we all know what KJ brings, but that vision off dribble to find, I think it was Carter cutting baseline one time, and the other time KJ went baseline and JB cut from the top of the key, and that was just such a nifty pass. Dropped it right off, and that vision, hard cuts, again, when you see, because there's 3-4 guys who can take their man off dribble on this team, you got to make sure that you're not standing. We saw that first 5-6 games. Offense struggled, did not move without the ball when somebody was trying to penetrate. Kelvin, last couple of 3 games, those cutters are active.
And you know what's cool is KJ gets to play off closeouts a lot of time. That means his man is playing off of him because not necessarily a great catch and shoot 3 guy. Right. So they're playing off of him in the pack line, trying to help over on the Calebs and the bigs and things like that. But one thing he's great at is attacking closeouts.
Yep.
He gets by those guys with strength and leverage and find guys. He was good at that last year. That's why I believe that coach kind of trusts him with the ball in his hands as the second point guard. Even early in the year, he was initially the guy that was the backup point guard. And I think we're starting to see a little bit why, because now he's getting back to playing just fundamental with that basketball. Like I said, early in the year, I felt like he was, playing with it a little bit.
Showing off how tighter his handles had been over the summer, what he'd been working on. Yeah.
yeah.
But he's like, I'll harken back. This is not a comparison I'm trying to make here, but one of the things that made Sean Elliott so great was the jab step triple threat. One long step, Kelvin, to get from your defender. And once you get the shoulder pass, it's over. Right. KJ, the straight line, maybe one change of direction, but mostly it's straight line stuff. If he's not messing around with it out there and he's just using his athleticism to get by his man, it's so hard to keep him in front of you.
Strong as hell.
Oh, yeah. That's what I mean. Strong off dribble and really long and so athletic. So, yeah, keep it up. Keep it up. Keep doing that, KJ.
Let's hear from Kelvin on his keys earlier.
Get Caleb going early. That's not really one of my keys. That's just one of my things that has to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think that we have to take care of the ball, just as J-Dub said. 14 turnovers in that last game. 11 of them were steals. Like, they literally, if you go back and remember, they was taking the ball out of some of our guys' hands. So we have to be strong with the basketball in hand. We only had 8 fast break points in that last game. And they had 16. That cannot happen. That has to be reversed. We have to double them if we're going to be able to beat them at their house on the fast break. And play tough. Play tough defense without fouling. We sent them to the free throw line, man. They had 22 shots at the free throw line. They made 17 of them. I think in between the steals and the free throws and the fast break, that's the game that they beat us last time.
I wonder if the refs told them beforehand, hey, we're going to let y'all play tonight because we all got to get out of here before the next storm
understood
hits.
the assignment. I think they understood the assignment. They all out there in the elements. So they we ready to get back to the West Coast.
And the nice thing is how could there possibly be animosity? This is the first time Arizona's played there since 1950. Right? So you get some chippiness. Maybe the refs, Kelvin, got to keep things under control. Hey, guys, you're getting a little handsy out there. You're getting a little physical. That happens a lot of times with some kind of, either short-term or long-term rivalry. I saw a couple of times when there was some Arizona, I don't know what was being said, but I saw a couple times where a couple of Arizona players were, JB made a shot and he definitely said something to the bench.
I saw Javon bark after he hit a three at one point.
They were going back and forth for sure, but the refs clearly none of it was elevated to a level where they had to get things under control.
So you won 2 games with less than 10 fast break points.
That's crazy.
But like Kelvin always says, 26 points off of layups. So they might not have had a fast break points,
but they were still
getting to the rim.
And 36 points total in the paint.
Yep.
Which makes up for a lot. You don't need the fast break if you're getting shots right at the rim in the paint.
My keys. Well, and I'll go back to just what I was talking about earlier in terms of Javon Small and how he's been getting a lot of his points at the rim. So ball screen defense is going to be key today. Communication on the defensive end to make sure that everybody knows who's got him coming off those high screens and not allowing him to get into the lane and to get layups. If he does that tonight, like we've seen him do it the last 2 games, it could be a long night for the Arizona Wildcats. You don't have that big-time three-point shooter on the floor in Tucker DeVries, but that doesn't mean you can fall asleep at the three-point line, because I mentioned that freshman scares me a little bit as being a guy on this team that can shoot the three-point shot. Jonathan Powell, 6'6". I talked about his defense earlier, but he can also knock it down from outside the arc, and I think that if he gets hot, he could be that guy. I know that you guys said earlier some of the other guys would be the ones that are most important. But I think if Powell gets hot from the perimeter, then that's going to allow them to potentially win this game tonight as well. And just basically what Kelvin said there and what we talked about. You're not going to win very many games if Caleb Love doesn't get going offensively and struggles to score the basketball. I think you need to have him in the 20 points. If you play 10 games and he scores under 20 on the road, you're probably going to lose 7 or 8 of those games. So a 20-point plus night for Caleb Love. And I think if you can obviously shoot the ball from distance, this might be one of those games where you need to knock down some threes to win it on the road. So maybe not take a lot of threes like J-Dub says, but you can't be 5. I don't think you can be 5 for 14. I think it's what they were was in Cincinnati. I think you need to be close. If you're going to take 14, you better make about 8 of those tonight to have a chance to win this game over West Virginia. Well, the percentage wasn't much better. They did make more, but the percentage of shooting those was not what you want. So they've won their 2 games. they're 2 of their 3 without Caleb Love scoring 20 or more points. So the percentages on there are probably going down as Kelvin laid out there moving forward. Jonathan Powell hit that first 3, and that got me scared, but he only made that 1 in the ball game. It was Sincere Harris. I think he had made 2 his entire career.
He was 2 for 32, and then he made back-to-back threes. Yeah,
exactly. The guy that you did not expect to make a 3.
Back to Javon Small real quick. I didn't realize till just now, but he took 11 of his 17 shots in the first.
Right.
So, man, he was really impactful. Obviously, he made it go. He was really getting it going. I don't know, Kelvin, if maybe they were just thinking that it couldn't be just him the whole game, and he was trying, because he had 3 assists in the second half. Maybe he was trying to get other guys involved, but he only got off 6 shots in that second half.
And they got him out with 5?
He played 36.
So it was 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I noticed they got him out. I mean, it pretty much was over, so they wanted to give him a little bit of rest. But he looked tired to me. He looked tired to me. Yeah, them 7 games, man. I mean, those last 5, he's been doing some heavy lifting.
You can only carry 4 guys on your shoulder for so far.
Doing some heavy lifting. So, hey, I guarantee you the coach will take it right now. You definitely hate losing. They just got ranked 21 in the nation, and you hate to lose as you just got ranked. But at the end of the day, you understand that guys are a little fatigued, and your son DeVries isn't playing as well. So. They still got some things to look forward to once they get him healthy and get these guys
real
fresh.
quick, despite this loss, I can't tell you how impressed I am with the idea that West Virginia has a new coaching staff and every single player on that roster wasn't there last year. The entire roster turned over. They got a new staff, and they found a way to go into Kansas and beat them there, to be on a 7-game winning streak. They've been playing so well together as a team.
Like I said, I think they're the surprise team. With what they've been able to do, even with this loss.
And when I'll say this, when you look up at the makeup of the guys, I see what it is. Just a bunch of hardworking guys. The coach hit on all of these guys.
Yeah.
He hit on all the guys that are getting playing time. He hit on them. He found guys that are playing with their heart. They're playing hard and passionately. That's what I see from the West Virginia team in all those games. Even today, that first half, those guys were right there battling, but you could see, as the game was wearing on, they didn't have the energy to actually, fight with Arizona.
Also, remember what I said earlier about Auburn having 10 seniors? Well, they got 9.
Exactly.
So, yeah, West
Grown
Virginia, they
men.
might have had a brand new roster come in, but Kelvin, a lot of guys, probably a lot of fifth-year guys as well who've been there, done that, and
This is it.
have experience, yeah.
It ain't nothing like this is it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and there was an indication, at least on the broadcast, they indicated the possibility that Tucker DeVries might be out for the season, and if that's the case, man, that's just a real big blow, real big blow for West Virginia coming
Can they go
off
in the
again.
portal?
Huh?
Can they go in the portal and grab a guy?
That's funny because I think that didn't Tommy talk about that when he was talking about when I think Krivas first went down.
Yep.
He was talking. They were asking if he was going to play E-Man, and they were like, "Well, can you go in?" I think Bruce asked him, "Can you go in the portal and get a guy mid-season?" So that has been addressed.
Does Jimmy Butler have any eligibility left? Because he's looking for a new spot.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. All right, that's what we think. That's what we thought the Wildcats needed to do to win tonight in Morgantown.
Wildcats fans, that's a look at your keys to the game. They're brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
75-56, Arizona beats West Virginia. We do have the post-in from Morgantown, so we'll have that coming up here for you in our next segment. Get some final thoughts here from Kelvin Ifan before we let him fly tonight. Kelvin, great road trip. I mean, regardless of there's always going to be positive. There's going to be positives. There's going to be negatives. There's going to be things to work on. But at the end of the day, it's about stacking W's, and you got 2 on the road to be 3-0 coming back home with a couple of favorable games to potentially put yourself in a nice position through the first, quarter. 5 games would be the first quarter of this Big 12 season.
Yes, sir. Got a couple good quad wins. So we're not hearing that. They don't have any quad ones.
Right.
So I'm tired of hearing that. So that's over with. Got a couple good quad wins against a couple quality teams on the road, real feisty teams. So that shows a lot and kind of wakes up the rest of the Big 12 to let them know Arizona is not going to be the pushover West Coast guys that you're used to seeing. First of all, it's not a lot of West Coast guys on the team.
True.
If you really go and look at it, right? And so they're not going to be that pushover type of squad. These guys are going to come in and battle you, and you just got a 2-0 on the road. It does not get no better than that. I can tell both of you guys, and J-Dub know this, and I'm sure you do too. There's no bads. There's nothing that went wrong. We're not as a player. We're not thinking about none of that. We just got 2 dubs, right? And we in 3-0, and we're in top of the conference, and we've had to scrap it out to win at Cincinnati. We put our foot on West Virginia's throat, right? So we're starting to figure out what is going to take to win in this big bully Big 12, right? And so, hey, those guys should be more than happy with themselves. But again, relax, get on that road, get back home, and get ready to continue this Big 12 championship run.
Was it only one scholarship player on this roster from Southern California?
Only one.
Think 20 years ago, if you had 20 guys on the team, probably 15, 16 of them were probably from Southern California.
LA, yeah, right. Facts. And the last thing I want to say is, Perry ended up coming back there and 22 points for Core Pete and 64-4 ended up being 64-48. My hats off to Coach Langford, man. They held them off for as long as they can. I know they don't have the size to compete with those guys, but he had a good game plan. Looked like he was running a little 2-3 doubling down on Core in the post or whatnot. But great effort from those guys. Over there, against Perry.
Maybe you should send him some of those plays you like to draw up here during the breaks.
I would more than I'll share with any coach out there, man, that think that I know any little thing about the game. You want some help from me, man? I'm all for it, especially anybody that's helping kids.
Absolutely, and we appreciate that, Kelvin. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you Saturday afternoon.
Yes, sir. Bear down, guys.
All right, that is the captain, Kelvin Efon, 75-56. Arizona over West Virginia. We'll hear from Tommy Lloyd and the players from Morgantown. Get your scoreboard and a few more things when we come back after this timeout on Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rocking K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's free furnace season at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we're offering 60 months no interest financing, tax credits up to $2,600, energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 today or visit rightwayac.com.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
With these scratchers, I'll win enough dough to enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally know how to fix your car right.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck on that, guys. But if you need a sure thing, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. No appointment necessary, call ahead's welcome, or just stop by any of the 14 area locations.
And check out our full page of promotions and discounts at jackfurriers.com.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, here to get you there.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
But a great
Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
You're listening to the flagship of Arizona Wildcats Athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage on the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Efon, and J.W. Madden.
Del Orso to Townsend, top of the circle. Handed off to Lewis. KJ. Nothing going inside. A walk with a screen. Lewis around it. It's a Del Orso. 10 to shoot. Down low. Nothing for Owaka. Dribbles out of the double team and underneath KJ Lewis. He slams it home. So you got a double team, and KJ knew exactly where to go. Owaka found it.
Yeah, beautiful find there by Toby.
Reggie Geary, Brian Jeffries on the call tonight in Morgantown, West Virginia. Arizona knocks off the Mountaineers 75-56. So they split the two games. We will not play them again during the regular season. Could, of course, see them at some point down the line in the Big 12 Conference Tournament. That's a possibility. That would be the only opportunity to play them for a third time, or who knows, maybe even come up against them in the NCAA tournament if both teams get there. Let's head back out to Morgantown and hear from your Arizona Wildcats, KJ Lewis, head coach Tommy Lloyd, and Jaden Bradley after the game tonight.
Coach, yeah, guys. Ever since the Bahamas, it's been, we got a flight to catch. We've been on the road for like a week, and we really want to get home. And you guys got a beautiful part of the country, but, we love Tucson and we love warm weather. So we're ready to get back to shorts and t-shirts. Just kind of, but a great effort by our guys. We needed that. Our guys have been getting better. Ever since the Bahamas, it's been, for me as a coach, helping them figure it out. Just kind of figuring it out. For me as a coach, helping them figure it out and, do better. And then figuring out what we can do better. Take it up on them. These guys got to take it up on themselves. Be accountable for doing it on the court. Be accountable for doing it on the court. These two guys played amazing. They played amazing. I thought we were rock solid. I thought we controlled the game for, almost from start to finish. And that was what I was really hoping we could put together, kind of more of a 40-minute performance. Our last couple games, we've got, I think, a 13-point lead, a 14-point lead, a 19-point lead. And every one of them has come back close. And so we really challenged our guys to kind of keep the gap today. I think number 10 hit those 2 transition threes. And, obviously he's not a great shooter overall, but, he hit 2 last game. He has 2 this game. They cut it. And then, the crowd gets going crazy. And our guys kind of, from there, were really steady and it just and had a great approach and taking it possession by possession. So give the team a lot of credit. Really proud of them and can't wait to get home.
Coach, you guys seemingly got a ton of paint points, cut them up inside pretty good. Anything in particular you did or just work the offense correctly?
Well, I think, probably the last thing, work the offense correctly. And, we're we make no bones about it. We're a team that doesn't mind scoring in the paint. We're not trying to shoot 53s. We're a little bit old school. But we moved better this game. These guys, Darren's doing such a good job. Guys, he's done an amazing job in his first year, and I know they've had some crazy injuries, and he's dealt with it. And to be honest with you, their start's been pretty magical. You win some of these close games. You beat an Arizona, you beat a Gonzaga. Who else on that list they beat? Kansas. Are you kidding me? If I was that guy's agent, I'd have 2 more years in that contract right now. So they've got off to an amazing start, and we knew we had to come out and be steady today because we knew they were playing with a lot of confidence. And we had a little more time to prepare this time. Last time we played them was the, third day of 3 games for both teams. And they found a way to come out on top. So we'll feel good about that.
Coach, what did you say in the huddle after those 2 threes that cut it to 5 there?
Breathe, relax. We're up 6, and it's the old adage. If you told me with however much time left to go in the game, we're up 6. And the ball and a timeout, I'd probably feel pretty good. So let's not get emotional. Let's get tactical and figure out what we got to do. And so the guys did a great job of that. And these guys, they really managed it on their own for the most part. I didn't give them, a ton of crazy structure down the stretch. And, JB was kind of calling the plays. KJ ended up being the point guard a few possessions. And these guys, they made great decisions.
For both players, and KJ, you can start with this. Revenge a factor? Did it enter your mind at any point?
Definitely we had that chip on our shoulder. We knew coming in from, the past game that we played them in the Bahamas, we knew how gritty they were and how tough of a team they were, but we knew we were a different team. Credit to the coaching staff. They prepared us all week, and we're just a different team. We understand a little bit now about more spacing, and, we're connecting a little bit more. So I think it's just a stepping stone into, our full potential.
And you for revenge at all?
West Virginia, we knew they were, like he said, gritty team, and, they got some great players. They rebound well, they can shoot it. And so we just knew we had to play different from the Bahamas. We know that wasn't working, that wasn't the formula. So I feel like we're starting to, find the pieces and connect.
For you two guys, was there anything else from that game in the Bahamas you drew off of? The threes they hit or anything like that where you said you needed to do it differently tonight?
I think we didn't play with a gritty mindset. Down the stretch in the Bahamas, they got some key rebounds, and that was the emphasis going into this game, making sure we boxed out and got big-time rebounds when it mattered, and, controlled the pace and, controlled the paint ultimately.
I mean, the best thing we did scouting is the guy that made 8 threes and got fouled on one didn't play. Like let's be honest. I mean, he's a heck of a player, so he didn't play, and he's a great player, and he hit some threes that game, and I was just like, we made a lot of mistakes. We did. We made a lot of mistakes, and but you know what? You can make mistakes, and if you still make a 30-footer, that's a hell of a play, and he did. So I tip my hat to them, and I know tough loss. I don't know what his injury status is, but obviously they're a more dangerous team with him in the lineup.
Tommy, though, you feel like in general the 3-point defense has been a little better for you guys?
Yeah, I think overall our defense it's there. It's right there. With TCU we didn't have a great stretch. We're finding when we take care of the ball and we don't give runouts. Our defense is pretty good in the half court, and then obviously rebound. We're no different than any other team. And the threes come. These teams have good shooters, and I'm sure we'll go back and watch. Number 10 hits 2 threes. We're probably living with that. 13 hasn't made a 3 in a minute. He shot it great in the Bahamas. He makes 2 threes. But I don't know. We're living. 11 only makes 1 3. We didn't want him to make threes. And Small made, was he 3 of 9? And he made a couple. I think I would look at some of our coverage, and they could have been a little bit better on him. But he's a heck of a player. Those are great shots.
What do Tucson people do when you're snowbound?
The Marriott Hotel is really nice. We didn't leave the hotel. We actually had a great couple days here, and it was really good for us. This kind of bonding. Hey, for the most part, everybody on our team is small town people. And we're a small town and probably closer to Hicks than anything else. So, we felt fine here. The snow doesn't bother me. I have 22 years at Gonzaga and Spokane. I tell people the old joke is, and it's a lot of truth to it. I got tired watching my wife Chanel shovel snow all the time. But so it didn't bother me. We had a great time hanging out in the hotel, bonding, and had some real fun conversational deals, and just hanging out. And these guys played a bunch of Uno, but we can't wait to get on that bus and get up to Pittsburgh, because I guess we got to go to Pittsburgh tonight to get home.
You guys, sorry.
Go ahead.
You guys have been ranked for what feels like longer than I've been alive. But do you guys feel like that kind of fueled you more? That you guys are now not in the ranking, trying to fight your way back in?
Well, listen, we're at where we're at, and Bruce behind you, he follows us really close, and he'll tell you, I don't even look at the rankings when we're ranked. And I told these guys, I barely look at the stats. I'm going off feel and where we're at. And obviously, I'm checking things here and there. But the rankings, I don't make too much of them. But, it is different, not being in the top 25. We feel like we're a top 10 program. But you know what? Here's the deal. You got to earn it. There's nothing given in this deal. We lost some close games, and so we got to play better. And so, challenge accepted.
For all you guys, really seems like these past couple games, maybe a few now, where wherever Caleb is, you're still able to get it done. And maybe earlier in the season, a little more reliant on his offense. Do you feel like it's spreading out?
Yeah, listen, Caleb obviously didn't have his best day today, and we felt like other guys were playing well, and sometimes it's not diabolical. You put a lineup out there, you give a guy a rest. And if that lineup starts playing really well, you play that lineup a little longer. It's not rocket science. So, there was no intent to sit Caleb for a long time. Just we subbed Deli in, and he's in with KJ and JB here, and we kind of rotated our bigs, and we played great. And these guys were managing the game, and I felt like the lead was holding steady and growing. So I'm going to ride that out.
Hell of a teammate, though. Hell of a teammate.
Yeah,
he supported us, when he, was on the bench, and I think that's the Caleb that everybody doesn't get to see. So credit to him.
He's a great dude.
Yeah. Coach, you've seen West Virginia with and without Tucker. How different are they without?
Well, they're different. They're different. Tucker is I mean, he's just, guys, if you have a guy that can make 30-foot shots and just what he does really well, he really passes the ball. And he just understands stay switch situations and forcing you to make decisions defensively. And, listen, he might not be the best athlete, but he's smart defensively. So he's just a really good player. I mean, they're different without him. I mean, I'm not going to say they're as good a team without him, but here's the deal. They've been winning. And so, their coach is doing great work. And he's putting them in the right positions. And he's been doing a great job managing games, picking matchups, and calling the right set, and he's been doing unbelievable, and then giving those guys confidence. Those guys have confidence to make big shots. And some of these guys might not be great shooters, but they're making big shots in big moments. So that's what great coaches do, and he's doing a heck of a job.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, that is Tommy Lloyd, Jaden Bradley, KJ Lewis after tonight's 75-56 win in Morgantown over the West Virginia Mountaineers. Man, I'm liking this whole Big 12. You got to have both teams at the podium in the interview room. I mean, we never had I was telling somebody was kind of complaining about the post-game sound from the last game. They couldn't hear some of the questions. I was like, yo, this is like way better than what we ever got in the Pac-12 when it would be in a hallway on somebody's phone, and there'd be like machinery barking in the background and all that kind of stuff.
You must have spent a bit of time here under McHale in that room with the squeaky door.
Oh, God.
There was that one room like forever where every single press conference you'd always hear somebody coming in and out of the door.
Room. Yeah. Yeah, that was up until probably that was only up. When did they get the new room? About 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, not too long ago. Yeah,
right around a little bit before COVID was when they got the new room. So yeah, it's we're not complaining at all about what we're getting from the road. It is
podiums
and we get it from the women too. We get it from the women too. You get the post game pressers that are sent out after the ball games, and so we'll have some of those for you now on Saturdays. When the ladies and the men are both playing together, and we'll be able to let you hear some of what they have to say after their games as well.
All I got to say is Brett Yormark loves basketball, DK.
Yeah, he does. He does love basketball indeed. This is what happens when you come to a basketball conference. You get things done the way that they should be done. 75-56, that's the way to do it. Hopefully the guys are in Pittsburgh. It's only an hour and 19. I think it's only like an hour and 15 minutes from Morgantown.
Yeah, but
to
how
Pittsburgh.
far is it when there's snow flurries?
Yeah, the bus probably is not going maybe as fast as it might be. Got to be safe out there on those highways for sure. But hopefully the guys get to the plane and get back safely here to Tucson to get ready for Central Florida.
It's funny because
all
I could think of was Tommy was talking about getting back to his shorts and T-shirt. I'm like, has he not seen the weather forecast? Because the next 4 or 5 days
has he
here,
not seen J-Dub? Is he not watching J-Dub right now? But it's always cold.
Highs in the 50s, I think. We got highs in the 50s coming up this week.
Yeah, well, my wife said something about a freeze warning on Thursday morning, so I guess that's coming too.
Oh yeah, it's on the way.
Oh yeah, here we go. Winter. It's funny. It's like I said. Well, it's the same thing. Like we lived in Ohio, it would always get cold right after Christmas. Early January was when you start getting 5 and 10 degrees and that kind of thing. It's the same thing here, only it's 30. So, yeah, it gets cold in January no matter where you live. 75-56, we'll get your scoreboard and wrap things up after this final timeout. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Happy New Year and welcome to 2025. It's a new year, but we still have air conditioning and heating systems at last year's prices. We have high-efficient inverter systems for as low as $89 a month. For year-round comfort, call Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or PictureRocksCooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead, live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Donna Ogden Nation.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Our Window Depot coverage on the Wildcats rolls on. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday postgame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
Miller still throws it back to Henry to the pocket and hammers it down with the right hand for Henry Vasar.
Henry Vasar just caught a body.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg & Osborne. Goldberg & Osborne, the injury lawyers.
Go catch you a body, hen. Oh, good stuff there. Good stuff there. 75-56, Arizona knocks off number 21, West Virginia. See if there were any other upsets in the top 25 tonight. Number 7, Marquette beats Georgetown 74-66. Number 3, Iowa State is 3-0 in the Big 12. They handle Utah 82-59. The Utes remain winless. Number 6, Kentucky loses at Georgia 82-69 tonight. So a second-ranked team goes down. 4th-ranked Duke over Pittsburgh 76-47. How about this one? Number 8, Florida beats number 1, Tennessee by 30 in Gainesville, 73-43.
It was 12-1 with 13 minutes left in the first half.
Jeez.
12-1.
Tennessee scored 15 in the first.
15 points in the first half, 1 point in the first 7 minutes.
Wow.
And that's the number 1 team and the only undefeated team left in America that just lost by 30.
There you go. They are no longer undefeated, losing big. Second half, number 25, Utah State leading San Jose State 63-57. Michigan, the 24th ranked team in the country, is up 6 at Poly Pavilion just into the second half over number 22 UCLA, 51-45. The Bruins trying to avoid a second loss in the Big Ten. They are 2-1 thus far. Michigan 3-0. Number 14, Mississippi State has just beaten Vanderbilt 76-64. Second-ranked Auburn, with 37 seconds left, leads Texas 83-78 on the road. Auburn trying to go to 14-1. Those are the finals today on your top 25 scoreboard. Other games in the Big 12, the U of A game was the first game to start. We gave you Iowa State. Baylor beats Cincinnati by 20 points, 68-48. They'll be here Tuesday night. Baylor is 2-1. Cincinnati now 0-3 in conference play. Oklahoma State gets their first win. They knock off Kansas State at home, 79-66. And BYU at home falls to Texas Tech, 72-67. That'll be Arizona's next road game. That'll be a week from this Saturday coming up in Lubbock. That is your scoreboard for tonight. Also, we'll let you know in the NBA, your Phoenix Suns tonight, they lose in Charlotte 115-104, so they could not win the second night of the back-to-back after they got the win last night in Philadelphia.
See the starting lineup? Let's see. Plumlee and Ryan Dunn, sure enough.
Did they start again?
They did. They did start.
39 for Booker tonight. Devin Booker scored 39 points. Bradley Beal, 31 minutes off the bench, had 10. Kevin Durant had 26 points tonight.
But once again, the big issue is giving up points, not so much as scoring points.
Right.
So.
115 do the Charlotte Hornets get in that game. LaMelo Ball had 32 for the Hornets. Tomorrow night at McHale Center, Arizona women will host Baylor at 6 o'clock. That will be a 5:45 airtime with Derek Palmer on 1400 KTUC. The ladies are 11-5 overall. They are 2-1 in conference play. Baylor has won all 3 previous meetings with the Arizona Wildcats, including one since Adia Barnes got to town. Brea Cunningham, second in the Big 12, and leads all sophomores nationally in field goal percentage at 65% from the field. Lauren Swan, we mentioned to you yesterday, the Big 12 Freshman of the Week this past week. She had her first 20-point game for the Arizona Wildcats. So that'll be tomorrow
KJ.
night. Yep, exactly. Good job by both of them. All right, J-Dub, any final thoughts on this one?
Just really impressed with the road trip overall. I mean, clearly, a lot of fans out there not happy with the start, not happy with the under 500 November. DK, what if I told you that coming into this game, Arizona is 16th in net ranking?
Net ranking, yeah.
6th before this win against West Virginia on their home court. It's only going to improve. The fact that they lost all 5 of their first quad one games, all of those teams are ranked in the top 25. And other than the Duke game, which kind of got a little out of hand towards the end, the Wisconsin game wasn't necessarily close towards the end. Those are a lot of close games they lost. That's how the net rankings and those computer models always see it. Arizona's really coming together. A lot of hard cuts, really solid closeouts on threes. All of the deficiencies that we talked about for the last 6 weeks, they're really figuring things out, TK. And it's kind of a scary proposition. We came into this year looking at the firepower offensively, the defensive guys they had, the different switching abilities that they had with different guys, the transfers coming in especially. They're putting it together. And you can't help but think that this is a trend moving forward because these 2 wins, DK, were not flukes. 2 great defensive teams they just beat, and their offense looked really smooth outside of maybe a couple of sloppy possessions versus Cincinnati and a little stretch there tonight. A really, really solid offense, and, man, West Virginia just really couldn't get very clean looks outside of small. So super impressed. Really looking forward to seeing what they do when they come home. No rest on your laurels.
No.
Get out of those shorts. Get back to work.
Exactly. No easy nights in the Big 12. We'll give you one more final score tonight on the high school level. Gilbert Perry knocks off Tucson High 64-48 over at the Badger Gymnasium. Koa Pete, one of the top prospects on the list for Arizona in the class of 25, had 22 points tonight in that ball game. Apparently, he opted not to speak with the media after tonight's game, so we will not hear from Koa Pete. We're hoping to maybe have some of that for you tomorrow. His head coach, Sam Duane Jr., however, did speak to the media, so we'll hear some of his thoughts coming up for you a little bit later. Our Priscilla Mugwell was over there at Tucson High tonight. That's going to wrap things up. We didn't end the show properly, J-Dub, the other night.
We had to get out of here really fast. And I thought about it at the time, like literally as it was happening.
We had NFL football to get to that
We
night.
did.
Yeah.
We kind of like lost track of time and we had to get out fast. But we won't make that mistake tonight.
All right. So I'll begin the whatever you want to call it, salutations while we get the 1987-88 Cats going with their tune.
Harvey Mason's finest work.
Yes. Well,
other than all the stuff he did to win Oscars.
Exactly. And Grammys and all that stuff.
Sure.
Thanks to Dusty Dale, who ran the game on the FM side of the coin. Thanks to David Amata, who handled things here on the AM side. Again, Priscilla Mugwa, thanks to her out at Tucson High School tonight. And for J.W. Madden and Calvin Efon, my name is David Kelly, giving you a final score one more time from Morgantown, West Virginia. In the cold and snow, Arizona beats the Mountaineers, the number 21 Mountaineers, 75-56. They sweep their first Big 12 road trip and are coming back home with a 5-game winning streak. 10,566 in the building tonight to be wild about the Cats, or not wild about the Cats. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. TK on the Sports Tip. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. Bear down, Arizona.
Give me the ball and stand back and watch me jam for two. Elliott's here. It's time to play. They want me in the NBA. When Tolbert plays, he plays to win. I put it up and it goes in. Huh. Give Kerr the ball, give Kerr a hand. I'll drill it in from three-point land. Ask the Gumbies, ask the refs. We don't do drugs 'cause we're the best. W-I-L-D, Cats. W-I-L-D, Wildcats. W-I-L-D, Cats. Wild about the Cats.
Our Window Depot postgame coverage of Arizona basketball rolls on. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. The postgame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, Lexus of Tucson, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling and Plumbing, Rockin' K Master Plan Community designed by nature, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. Thank you for listening to this special presentation from Wildcats Radio 1290. We now return you to our regularly scheduled program already in progress. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
For the payoff of world's greatest tease, I told you I have an anecdote about the cold. All right, so let me set the scene for you. And don't get too distracted by the reason that I was where I was. Because I was inside a bank today, okay, to cash a check. Well, I know that, like, nobody does that anymore. Is that correct? You do it on your phone. You do it on your phone. If you have a check, you do it on your phone. But I also had to cash. I said to deposit cash. Okay, you can't just take a picture of this is a little Christmas money. Okay, had to cash the Benjamins. Now, typically, also, I would have been in my car to do this, okay? So I had to go to the bank. Can't do it on my phone. Not only am I at the bank, I got to go inside the bank. All right? Because my request was I had a check to cash, and then I had a couple of $100 bills, Christmas money. You know how it works. The parents say we're going to go light this year, and then they don't go light, and then they still give you cash.
Oh, good for you.
All right. So, but what I needed was change. So basically I needed to cash the check and I needed to break the 100 because I had stolen money from my kid's wallet to play the bar machines around the corner where I live. And I lost. Okay? So I needed to pay him back in 20s. So that's the premise. The premise was I had to get out of the car to go inside to the bank. I gave you probably a little too much information with the gambling, but please play responsibly. So I'm inside, and I get a teller. There's two tellers working. One I can sense is a little more, hey, you know, I'm a bank teller, but I'm also auditioning for a role in your life. And then the other one was like, I'm here to do my job. So I'm walking to the first one, who was the more, this is going to be a transaction. But the second one is basically like flagging me down. So I go to the second one. And this is just, I mean, this guy, he's here. He woke up this morning to have a conversation with me. That was the goal of the day. Is that I was going to come in and he was going to have a conversation. And the conversation started around, why aren't you wearing a coat? And I did not wear a coat today. Now, I had just gone to, guys, I know I'm flexing all over this story. I'm just telling the story with my hundreds, okay? But I had just gone to the gym. All right, so you're already a little warm at the gym afterwards, sure. And then I get in the car and I go to the bank. So the amount of steps outside that I took from my house to my car was probably 12. From my car to the gym, I was able to park right in front on the street. So that was probably 7, 14. We're up to 26 total outside steps. Then I park in the bank, got a great spot at the bank because it's 2025 and people bank online. So that's probably another 11 steps. So we're looking at 36 steps across 2 hours